Hi guys, welcome to the only awards that matter, the Worthabuy Game of the Year awards. The awards that are truthful and honest and not full of f***ing, oh, I'm defending my channel, I'll give it a good review, there's too many fanboys, bleh. I'm also not going to make a separate video for every f***ing category like some greedy f***ers out there are doing. You know, the best graphics video, best sound video, best first person shooter video, best What we're going to do, we're doing two videos. We're doing the positive video, which is this one with all the games of the years on, and we're doing the negative one with all the shite on. I'm not going to talk much about what 2017 was. I'll do all that in the bad video, the evil, nasty video. Bleh. We'll talk about electronic sleazy arts and all the slimy shit that's gone on. Might be a long video, guys, because 2017 has not been the great year for gaming that people are telling me it is. But again, this is supposed to be positive, Mac. Let's keep that for the negative video. I can't wait for the negative video. I can just unleash hell. So let's start with the best shooter of the year. There have been a few shooters this year. We've had Star Wars Battlefront 2, Call of Duty World War 2, we had PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, guys, we've had Prey, remember Prey, we've had Destiny 2, my goodness, Destiny 2, what a... But there was only one shooter worthy of my big green thumb, and that indeed is Prey. Prey, you see, guys, what that did for me, that game brought me back to that Half-Life feeling that I had back in 2004 with Half-Life 2, and in 1996 with Half-Life the original. It made me feel that tension again as I was exploring this amazing world that I was in Prey, being hunted by this awful fucking monster, seeing just amazing graphics, amazing gunplay. It was just a really good fucking game. And that is getting my best shooter of the year. Here's a clip. In this game, everything's pretty much there for a reason. And the amount of times I've been rewarded for being a nosy bastard. If you're nosy, you'll do well at this game, guys, because it rewards the nosy bastards. It really does. So if you see something you like the look of, just go and have a look and you'll probably find some nice loot. Also, as well, you can get to places where you don't think you can get to, because the actual glue gun, you can fire it up a wall and make steps and just run up the steps. You have ordinary grenades, you have EMP grenades, which is good against robots because some of the enemies are robotic, some of them are malfunctioning earth defense things. And what you do is, as you go through, you find these augments to augment your brain to lock into different powers. Now at first you're just dealing with human things, such as that you would augment your backpack. I don't know how that's supposed to work. You stick something in your eye and that makes your backpack bigger. Next, guys, we are looking at the best strategy game of the year. Now, there was quite a few strategy games in 2017. We had Dawn of War 3, we had Sudden Strike 4, which was a huge letdown. I was really hyped for Sudden Strike 4 and it just didn't deliver. But we did have Steel Division Normandy 44. Now that did get me. That was a terrific game. It didn't do that well on Steam, but man, that is a really good strategy game. But there was one that I just fucking love. I absolutely, it's nothing like the other games that I've just mentioned there, but it is a strategy game and I really do enjoy playing it, especially head to head in multiplayer. But it is great. It has a great long campaign in single player as well. And it is like one of my old favourites from long ago, and that is Dungeons 3, which was kind of brought me back to Dungeon Keeper. It is a terrific game, and they've just added a great patch to add head-to-head multiplayer. It is, again, not an expensive game, and it is fucking great. Here's a clip. You have a dungeon heart, and if that dies, you die. Game over. So you have to protect your dungeon heart. You do that by building traps in a series of rooms and building up an army all underground. You build nothing on the surface, it's all underground. Now you need to have gold to do that, and there's gold to be found hidden in the fog of war in the rock down below, and you have these workers that you use to dig out the gold. Now you're going to need more workers, you're going to need armies, you're going to need rooms, you're going to need traps. There's a whole load of stuff to research, and so you start researching using gold only, but that won't get you very far. You can't research a lot with just gold. You need evilness. And evilness can only be got by doing a few incursions on the surface and taking over these portal things that drip feed you evilness. But the people, the humans on the surface, aren't going to sit back and let you do that, and they will, you know, try and take them back. So there goes the game. You have to defend your portals on the surface as well as construct your army and look after your dungeon below, because the guys, the humans, are going to find the entrance to your dungeon, and they're going to start sending mages, healers and knights and all manner of things down below, constantly sending waves of more and more stronger and powerful humans to kick your ass. Now guys, we come on to the best driving game of the year, and my goodness, the competition was tight here. We had Need for Speed. There was a clear winner for me. There was a clear winner. F1 2017 was a big letdown for me. It didn't include VR, and VR is where it is for driving games. I don't care what anyone says about VR being a fad. Until you've put on your VR headset, jumped in the cockpit of a car and raced around a racing circuit, you have no idea how amazing virtual reality is in 2017. And the best driving game, the best racing game that I played in the whole of 2017 was clearly Project Cars 2. That is fucking amazing. It is just absolutely amazing. It's amazing, guys. Here's a clip. The AI is fully tweakable. You can turn it up or turn it down. You can make it aggressive or not too aggressive. And you do have to tweak it, because if you don't tweak it, it'll be like a bell end driving. It really will. You have to, one of the things about this game is, right, you have to get into them settings and start changing them. If you just switch the game on and start playing it out of the box, you're going to run into problems. It's as simple as that. So get into the settings, tweak the AI so that it's about your level, make it maybe a little bit better than you so that it gives you something to strive for as you're going around, and then you won't have much trouble with it. Just don't be a dick on the corners. The amount of videos I've watched of people being total knobheads going into corners and then blaming the AI. No, just don't be a dick on the corners.
That's your best split time in Sector 2 today. Personal best. Great job.
And now guys, we move on to multiplayer game of the year. Now multiplayer game of the year, there were again a lot of these, and a lot of them I love. The game that I've played the most this year in multiplayer is Medal of Honor Allied Assault, but that was brought out in 2001, or I would have given that bloody multiplayer game of the year. I love it. But we have PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Well, yeah, it's alright. It's not too bad. We've got Holdfast, really good game. Black Wake, another great multiplayer game. But there was one game that I have played the most. It's a game I've played the most this year in multiplayer. When I say multiplayer, I mean co-op. You have so much fun in this game. You have laugh out loud moments. It's 4-player co-op. It's big open world. It is Ghost Recon Wildlands. It has a few bugs in it, but the sheer amount of joy I've had in this game, the laugh out loud moments, it's just fucking amazing. And I'm giving that my multiplayer game of the year. Next up, guys, it is role-playing game of the year. Now, this had some big contenders this year, some really big contenders, but there can be only one, and there was only one. There was only one that was just, you know, it was the Usain Bolt in this race. It was just ahead of the field. It had a great price, and it had huge amounts of content. It had 4-player co-op campaign. It was brilliantly voiced, it looked gorgeous, it played well. It was Divinity Original Sin 2. How can that not be everybody's role-playing game of the year? It has everything a role-playing game has. It has proper consequences for things. It's not like Witcher 3 where you could go and steal everything off any f***er you wanted and they would just say, it's fine, here, take the law. You know, this is a proper role-playing game with law and rules. It was just brutally hard and brilliantly good at $29.99 with 150 hours plus of content. 4-player campaign co-op. It is amazing game, one of the best role-playing games I've ever seen. It's just so sad that this game isn't even nominated on many people's channels because they've got the dick stuck so far in the console's fucking CD drive that they've never even heard of this game. Oh, it's not on consoles. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not on consoles. We don't care about it. It's not on... This game deserves it across the board. It is phenomenal. It's crafted with pure love, this game, guys, and you don't see that these days. You hardly ever see that. You won't find loot crates in this fucking game. You won't find anything like that. All you'll find is top drawer premium quality entertainment. That's what you're going to get. It deserves its overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. It absolutely does, because it's hard to fault it. And in this game, the turn-based combat is so good because the whole way that you do the combat in this game is just not to be rushed. There is so much you can interact with in the environment. There's barrels of oil that you can explode. You can even freeze people and electrify puddles and things like that. If they're standing on it, you can throw things at them to make the floor beneath them become oil and then set fire to it and things like that. You get all kinds of stuff to do. There you go, guys. Divinity Original Sin 2. It plays well. It's a great story, great RPG, great characters, great combat, great world. It's just a great fucking game. And now, guys, we move on to Indie Game of the Year. Indie Game of the Year. This is for the small indies. I mean, Divinity Original Sin 2 is an indie company, that Belgian company that make that. But I'm not including that in this. I would just wipe the floor with everybody, simply because I'm looking at the smaller, you know, couple of 2-man, 10-man teams and all that to see which I think was the best indie game of the year. Loads of competition for this. I mean, I've played some great ones. There's been your Black Wakes, your Holdfast Nations of War, Space Tyrant was another great one that I enjoyed. Bomber Crew. Who could forget Bomber Crew? It was such a great little game. But guys, I know Cuphead. I know a lot of you are going to be screaming, Cuphead. But nah. The game that has brought me the most laughs this year, the game that is just so absurdly hilarious, is Holdfast Nations of War. It is just so fucking good. I've streamed that so many times, had so many laughs. It is just hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Here's a clip. I'm thumbing this up because I've never had so much fun in a game for ages. It doesn't matter about all the shit. I'm having fun in this game. It is not too shit that you can't have fun. You just haven't got to take it too seriously. It is no way is this a serious game. Oh yeah, it's a serious. I'm going to go pro, man. I'm going to go pro and Holdfast Nations of War. Let's get a guild and go pro. No, it isn't that type of game. It's not that type of game. It's the type of game where you just think, right, I'm going to march towards the French with the fucking Union flag with these two drummers standing next to us, and we don't care if we get shot. And now, guys, the big one. The overall game of the year. The game that has just beaten everybody else. What a choice this is. What a choice this is. There are two standout games of the year for me. Two. And I'm going to tell you what they are. There is Prey. One of the best first-person shooters I've played in years. In years, guys. When you compare this game to the likes of Call of Duty, when you compare it to Wolfenstein, it's just... It is just so much better in every department. It is just so good. The whole way you just fabricate things, the whole crazy way your guns work, the glue gun, the whole way that the environment plays out as you explore Talos. It is just an amazing game. It is one of the best first-person shooters that's literally been out in the last 10 years. It is phenomenally good, right up my street. Right up my street it is. It's the kind of game that I just love. But then you've got Divinity Original Sin 2. We've been lacking any really good role-playing games for so many years. I mean, I didn't rate Witcher 3 as high as pretty much anybody else. For me, Witcher 3 was like a dumbed down role-playing game with its rolling around the floors, its lack of consequences for doing basic things like stealing stuff, the whole crafting thing, oh, go to bed at night and have all your potions refilled. You know, it was just kind of like such a blah kind of that'll do, you know, great story and characters and all that, but Divinity isn't. It's brutally hard. It's just got everything you want from a role-playing game. It makes you love your characters, it makes you love the story, you're listening to every word, you're examining everything, you're taking your time. The world outside doesn't matter when you're playing Divinity Original Sin 2. You're on a mission, you know what you're doing, you focus, the combat is great, it makes you think about everything, positioning of where your people are, the spells that you're going to cast, the order that you're going to do it in. It's all about teamwork. It's got 4-player co-op. Guys, what a choice I've got to make now. This is such a difficult thing to do because I want to give them both Game of the Year, but there can be only one. There can be only one. And I'm going to give it to... I'm giving it to Prey for the simple reason that there hasn't been a very good first-person shooter for such a long time. That I'm going back to Half-Life 2. 2004 was the last time I played anything that resembled what Prey is. And I've had a long wait for such a good game like that. Yes, it's got its flaws. Yes, it's got a few bugs. Yes, it's not as good as Half-Life. It's not as good as Half-Life 2, but my goodness, it's a damn sight better than Wolfenstein, a damn sight better than Call of Duty and all them other wanky first-person shooters that have been shoveled by these big companies over the last 10-15 years. So there you go, guys. I'm giving it to Prey, but hey, it could have easily gone to Divinity Original Sin 2. Both amazing games.